Do you ever feel like you're talking to a literal idiot who can't understand anything that you're saying, even though you're both talking about the same thing? We've all been there, guys. Luckily enough, we're here to tell you that you can actually speak their language by diving through the colorful world of personalities. Did you know that humans are divided into 4 personality types? First, there are the Reds, the super brave, super fierce rebels like Obama or Steve Jobs. Then we've got the Yellows. They're all about the good vibes. In fact, even when things are tough around them, they tend to stay cheery and positive. Then there's the Keep Calm and Carry On gang, aka the Greens. These guys are awesome listeners and avoid causing any drama, like Michelle Obama. And then finally, there's the Blues. They're not really into sugarcoating things, and while they might be quiet, when they speak up, it's worth listening. Think Bill Gates and even Mr. Spock from Star Trek. Now imagine these personalities as a cool grid, like a personality Tetris. Blues and Reds are at the top, caring about tasks. Greens and Yellows are at the bottom, all about people. Blues and Greens are more introverted on the left, while Reds and Yellows are outgoing on the right. Remember, most people have a mix of 2 types, and it's like a puzzle. But avoid putting greens and reds or blues and yellows together. That's like mixing oil and water. Don't worry, we'll tell you why. What you see is not always the reality. Take Reds, for example. They're driven and not afraid to speak their minds, but sometimes that can come off as rude or aggressive, even if they're just being themselves. And interestingly, what they see as a lively debate can be a total nightmare for a Green. Now, Yellows, they're the life of the party, but sometimes their chattiness might make them seem a bit full of themselves. In reality, they just think they're awesome at explaining things. Blues who value the opposite traits might find this a bit off. Yellows might get hurt if they're seen that way, but their positivity helps them bounce back quickly. Now picture yourself strolling into your office, and there's that one coworker you know, the super quiet one, who seems to have a private universe all to himself. Well, you're in the presence of a Green personality type, the kind, friendly guys who will have your back when things get tough. But their trust in others can sometimes come across as a bit naive, maybe? And if you ever mess with a Green's routine, especially their precious breakfast or lunch rituals, you might just throw their whole day off balance. Now let's talk about the Blues. They're the kind of people who not only dive into details, but swim in them. While a quick task might take a Yellow an hour, a Blue? Well, they'll probably spend half a day meticulously checking and rechecking every single aspect. You'll catch them using calculators to double-check simple spreadsheet formulas. It's all about that perfection. Sure, Reds might playfully label them as the obsessive ones, but deep down, Blues simply yearn for things to be flawless. And let's be real, who can blame them for that? Tailor your approach. Now that you're becoming an expert on these personality types, let's dive into how to chat with them effectively. Whether it's your coworkers, conference buddies, or family, we've got you covered on the communication front. Starting with Reds, they're straightforward and no nonsense. So skip the small talk and get right to the point. And if they're being stubborn or active impulsively, a gentle nudge to be more professional can help. Watch out though, because you never know, they might try to turn your own words against you. Yellows, on the other hand, are the life of the party, so be friendly and ready to share a laugh. Keep an agenda handy when you meet them because Yellows love to steer the conversation off track. If they're all over the place, your agenda can help you get back on point. And since they tend to forget things, a detailed list of your main points can save the day. How to speak with Greens and Blues. Imagine you want to show appreciation to a colleague on your team. You gather everyone and give the colleague a shout out in front of a bunch of people. In fact, you even threw in a bonus, movie tickets and a day off. Anyone would love that, right? Well, not everyone. Because if they happen to be a Green personality type, they wouldn't really take it well. And instead of feeling great, they'd feel embarrassed and upset about being in the spotlight. So what's the lesson here? If you're dealing with Greens, avoid putting them on the stage, whether it's praise or criticism. Stick to one-on-one chats to keep things smooth. They also have sensitive egos and can take self-criticism seriously. So when you're giving feedback, be clear that it's about improvements, not a personal attack. Also, when you're addressing them, give them clear step-by-step directions to solve a problem. They prefer instructions over taking the lead, and they're not fans of sudden changes. Now, moving on to Blues. They're the detail-oriented people. So if you're dealing with them, be ready to bring your A game. do your homework, gather all the intricate details, because if you don't, they might not buy into your message. And if you don't know something, just admit it, because blues will find out if you're making things up. And like reds, skip the small talk and get straight to the point. They'll appreciate it if you back your statements with solid data. Create a dream team. When you're building teams for projects, it's like creating a recipe. You want the right ingredients that mix well together, and if personalities clash, the project could sink faster than a paper boat in a storm. The point is, you should pair up people whose personalities naturally gel and complement each other. For example, you can't go wrong with a combo of analytical blues and go-getter reds. They bring balance to the table, right? Whereas stable greens and energetic yellows make a great match too. Even the mix of blue, green, and red-yellow can work like a charm. But that doesn't mean they're the perfect pairs. Sometimes when blues and greens team up, decisions might take longer, but they'll be super well thought out. On the flip side, when you put a lively red with a talkative yellow, you might end up with a lot of noise and not much listening. The balance combos, blue and red, like a gas pedal and a brake, they focus on tasks. Green and yellow, both people lovers, will make sure everyone's happy, even if the project takes a bit more time. Now for the tricky ones. Reds and greens sometimes rub each other the wrong way. Reds find greens complainy, while greens see reds as too aggressive. But sometimes a red-green duo can lead like a boss and follower combo. And oh boy, the yellow and blue mix, often seen as the worst combo. Yellows dive in headfirst, while detail-loving blues get the jitters. Blues see yellows as distractible chatterboxes, and yellows see blues as uptight party poopers. You're likely to hit a roadblock with these two. Less stress, more harmony. By now, one thing is very clear. What's fun for one can be a total nightmare for another. So to keep the peace, it's smart to know what stresses out each type, so you can steer clear of those situations. Let's break it down. Reds dig control, challenges, and seeing results. So if you want a stressed out red, give them boring tasks and keep them twiddling their thumbs with zero power. Trust me, chaos will follow. Yellows? They get stressed when they're left out, surrounded by negativity, stuck in a strict routine, or told not to crack jokes. Oh, and calling them out in front of others? It's a one-way ticket to Gloom City. Give them space, let them party plan, and keep their sunny side up. Greens treasure privacy and routines. They feel safe with those. Want to stress them? Shake up the routine, yank them off projects, or make them redo finished work. It's like telling them their efforts don't count, and that's a recipe for insecurity. Now blues, they're the planners. They freak out if you push them to be spontaneous risk takers, surround them with drama queens, or ditch the organized approach. Blues love privacy, mapped out plans, and perfection. Anything less and their stressometer goes off the charts. So now, while these personalities may be worlds apart, there's always situations where they can complement each other and in fact bring out the best in one another. Well, now that we've reached the end of this video, would you consider yourself a red, a blue, a green, or maybe even a yellow? And how do you communicate with other colors? Let's talk in the comments below. Thanks for watching.